Let's get the other one on the other side. So today we are finally installing some coilovers, and we're getting rid of this super ugly and huge wheel gap. It's been haunting me for months now, but we're finally ready. So we got our coilovers here. Let's take a look. So these are just BC Racing coilovers. These are the sort of gold versions, so it's a step up from the red ones, which are the basic ones. The main difference is pretty much, I think, just this locking ring on the bottom to set the height, which makes it a little bit easier. There's not much choice when it comes to coilovers for the Starlet. There was also some silvers, Neomax or something like that, but they were discontinued. So this was pretty much the only choice. You could pick different grades. This is sort of the middle ground between the basic spec, which are the red ones, and the top spec, which are still gold, but they got a little extra and they're more set up for truck. Again, our build, the goal is for a street car mainly. It's also my daily at the moment, but it's gonna be fun to drive, and also we'll take part in some hill climbs and truck days. So it needs to perform well both on the street mainly, but also on the truck. So I think this is a right compromise. And yeah, so these are a monotube design, so they should be good, decent quality. There's 30 levels of damping adjustments that we can select here. We're definitely gonna go with something soft because the car itself is pretty light. Also, we got camber adjustment on the front, which is great, so we don't need camber plates. They're just incorporated in the top mounts. And the other good thing, they come with top mounts both front and back, because some of those coilovers, they recycle pretty much the top mount from the stock ones, which we don't want because they are super old and ugly. Anyway, so the spring rate should be 6 in the front and 4 in the rear, which is alright for, I mean, this is a very light car. Again, I wouldn't want to go super steep. Want to keep a bit of body roll. I want to keep I want to be able to play with the weight transfer and things like that. All right, so theoretically here we got 9 centimeters of fender gap still, so we gotta drop at least 4 or 5 if we can. Now I already rolled the fenders here. Well, you can see I didn't think it was worth filming this because there's hundreds of tutorials. I just use a guard roller, really very easy process in general, and so yeah, I didn't film that, but I already rolled, so hopefully we wouldn't have too much issues. We might have some issues in the front at full lock, so we'll have to bang a little bit the subframe in the front, as one of the guys in the group suggested. Still a pretty big gap, so we'll have to drop it quite a bit, almost to the max. But then again, I don't want to affect the suspension geometry too much. Now in the back will be affected, particularly with a panade rod there, and which is why I got the adjustable one. But we're not going to do that today. Today we're just concentrating on these coilovers install, and we'll set up and we'll have a think about how to set up the suspension, and then I'll make another video on how to install the panade rod, and we'll try to understand how it works, what it does in the next video. So stay tuned, subscribe for the next one, and let's get into it. Alright, so the first shock is out. I put them side to side just to check the ride height difference, even from the stock sort of setup in the coilovers. So these are about, oh, well, it's about a 8 centimeters reduction from stock height. Probably it's not the most precise. We're gonna try once they're in the car, but it's definitely a good drop, at least in the front. So I'm not gonna touch them right now. I'm just gonna put them on and see how they look. So as you can see, these are the basic ones, and then we're a couple of steps up to that one. Still classic road feel. It's always 30 click damping adjustments and monotube designs, and the rest is all the same. And then if you're gonna go up, you got obviously external oil reserve and all that, more adjustability as well. But again, we don't want to get crazy about adjustability, particularly on the street. Is not useful at all. The other good thing about these coilovers is that they're easy to repair. So just in case they start to leak and anything, they easily provide, well, obviously warranty, but also parts to rebuild them. So that's another added thing that you might not have if you import stuff from Japan or you get other eBay sort of parts. So yeah, that's definitely an added bonus. In terms of ride height, so they come with those two things, very technical term, and which allows you to loosen up those knobs, and then you can rotate the coilover, adjust it, so you can adjust the ride height without affecting the spring preload. Another thing that I wanted to try is the weight difference between the old shocks and the new coilovers. Let's measure the stock shock. So this is about 5.7 according to this scale. I'm gonna try one more time. .8. Yeah, they feel a little bit lighter, but we'll see. Actually, not much, not by much in my opinion. So overall, those are about half a kilo lighter per corner. So just in the front, we're gonna save 1 kilo, which isn't too much, but still better than nothing. Again, considering we're gonna add more weight with sway bars, strap braces and things like that, pretty happy about it. So let's proceed, let's put them on and see how they go.
A few moments later.
All right, this one is in. I just double checked those rings are as tight as I could get them. I think the ride height is okay once we put it down in saddles. Yeah, it should be alright, at least in the front. Probably we'll have to reduce it a little bit on the, but even the lug nuts, those Muteki red ones, I think they are pretty cool, and they definitely suit the car. Alright, so let's get the other one on the other side on. With the postie. Hey mate, how you going? For this one, the back ones, looks like it's about, well, it's a pretty big drop overall, even though I heard people that they want more. But in general, I think it's about almost 7 centimeters drop, 6 to 7. So
7? Jeez.
yeah, so it's fairly big, but I want to do it a little bit more, maybe 1 extra centimeter. And yeah, so the rear ones actually turn out is super easy, literally 3 bolts. We also got the panade rod on the back to adjust that, but probably we're gonna do another video another time. So obviously once we lower the suspension, gonna be probably that one should be a little bit shortened to make sure that the suspension remains properly set up. So we're gonna do that next time. What do you reckon, Jet?
I reckon it's great, man. I mean, you know, definitely coming off stock wheels, we're on like 195mm wide tyres now. What were the stock rims? They're about 165.
Yeah, 165. They're like
yeah.
super slim.
Especially considering what we're trying to do, this is not going to affect the car too much in terms of having too much tyre that you're adding weight, which I know has been a problem for some people in the past. But yeah, we got 195s on it now with the 15-inch Enkei RPF1s, which is a totally mad upgrade over the stock 165mm wide wheels with the Steelies on them.
Steelies.
And plus the BC Golds. This thing should be fully sick.
Yeah, it looks already fully sick. Alright, I can't wait to put on this one. So I'm gonna put the back one and see how it looks from the side. Can't
Time
wait.
to chop some Lambos.
Yeah, definitely.
We are definitely chopping some Lambos after this.
Definitely tonight. Yeah, we're gonna go and find one. So stay tuned.
6.5 hours later.
It's 10 p.m. So obviously something didn't go well, but the good news is the car is almost done and it's looking great. I think it needs a little bit more low, about 10 mil, maybe 15, something like that. Now, the bad news is one of those bolts on the front one, actually two, pretty much done. Basically, the nut here is rotating with the bolt, so there's no way for me to take it out. I tried many things. It just rotates with the nut. So this one we tried a nut breaker, like this one, but because of this little edge, we couldn't get to the bottom crown, so we smashed it pretty much, but then we couldn't remove the bottom. So yeah, I think it's an angle grinder job. I just want to check what's the difference in weight between those wheels. So Enkei's RPF1s, those are 15x7, and those are Hankook RS4 195/50. Let's see how much a stock Steely weights with those 165x55, I think, something over 60, something like that. They're fairly light. So 10.5. They maybe feel a little bit heavier. 13.1, so close enough. So 13 kilos against 11, so it's 2 kilograms heavier per corner. So overall with this setup, we're gonna be heavier by 8 kilos. But considering we saved 2 kilos on the shocks, we are about 6 kilos heavier. Not too bad considering how much more grip we're gonna get. And then hopefully tomorrow I can get a shop or someone to help me with an angle grinder and remove that one and finish the setup. And I'll see you then.
Tomorrow.
This one half.
Oh, yeah, I was already ready to bring it to a shop and literally they told me, no, we don't deal with this kind of trouble today. I was like, now you're making even more depressed.
He comes home in 2 seconds later.
Yeah, and he does it in 2 seconds. So what kind of workshop are you?
A few moments later.
And as you can see, yeah, the bolts are not in a great state, but yeah, the moral of the story is always have a friend with an angle grinder ready. I think it's still a bit high, so probably a couple of, maybe 20 mils front and back. Again, I just don't want to go super low because it's just not functional. I had a drive, obviously it needs a wheel alignment and some more parts like a fanad rod, but it's already much better. It's so much more stable, and also the tires are pretty new, so they're a bit sketchy. It's gonna be pretty cool, so stay tuned, lots of content coming, and thanks for watching. Let me know what you think and see you next time.